Hey, this is our first stop on our Banker Award tour this year. We're here at Vincent Traffas farm. We're a mile south of Sharon. And this is Vincent, and he farms over here in the Sharon vicinity with his wife Mary and his son Brian. So Vincent, how long have you been farming here in this community?
Oh, 43 years.
Okay.
And we got about 1,000 acres of farm ground and about 1,000 acres of pasture that we operate at the present time.
Okay. Okay, Vincent, what kind of an operation do you have here? I know you said you had some 1,000 acres of cropland, 1,000 acres of grass. You've got some cattle in?
Oh, yeah. I keep my own about 65 head of mama cows, you know, and then I buy feeder calves in the fall for wheat pasture. Of course, this year it's a kind of a dubious deal, but I've already got about 100 calves out here now.
Okay. What kind of crops do you raise in on your cropland?
Oh, it's mostly wheat, but I also alternate with milo to prevent the cheat and rye and obnoxious weeds that come along from now and then. I alternate the crops, and I also have some feed ground for cattle that I have.
Okay, now I noticed you have a nice set of improvements here on your farmstead. What's the history of your farmstead? When was the house built?
Well, we built the original house in 1949, but you might see that the tornado in 1976 wiped away the whole bedroom wing and also the south end of it. It tore the whole two-car garage down and also all the big barn and all the other buildings. And since then, we've added these other buildings now to it.
Okay, so the rest of the house it's a nice brick house. When was it built?
And the rest of it was built in 76.
76.
We originally built the first part of it in 49. But when the tornado tore the rest of it away, then we had to rebuild it.
Okay.
And of course, this shed we put up a year after that in 77.
All right, I think from here then we'll go over and look at some of the cattle that Vincent has and talk about his cattle operation.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now over here in the corrals with the calves. We've got several calves right here beside us. What calves are these, Vincent?
Oh, there's some of my own raising. I've got them kind of mixed. I used to have a straight Hereford herd all the time, but I've got them kind of mixed up anymore, and they've proven pretty satisfactory. They're pretty good growthy calves, you can see on that.
What kind of mixture you got there? I know some of them are still Hereford, and then you got some black-white face.
Yeah, well, of course, those mostly are the different kind of cows. I still use a Hereford bull on them, but the cows are different. They're mixed cows. I've got some cattle out there. Them are straight Hereford calves out there, see.
Okay, so you got some Angus cows, and what else you got mixed in with them?
Well, I've got a few Charolais and some, some Salers. I've even got 2 or 3 Saler cattle in there.
Okay. Well, I noticed this corral system you got here. This is really nice here.
Well, we kind of like it. For your information, Brian built most all of these corrals himself. He welded them all together. And it's a kind of a handy outfit, we think now.
Okay.
It's quite a while getting it, but it's been all right.
It looks like it's strong enough you won't have any trouble breaking it down.
Yeah, I think it is that. We got a few more work to do out on the west side of it, but it's been pretty ample like it is for the present time.
Okay. Well, I think from here we'll go on up and look at the cropland and the terraces.
That'll be real fine.
Okay, here we are standing in a wheat field of Vincent's. When did you plant this?
It was probably about the 23rd of September.
Okay.
That's generally when we planted.
It sure looks really good. What did you do, or what do you usually like to do as far as tillage strips to get it to look like this?
Well, I use a disc mostly right after harvest, and then I use a chisel a lot for the deep soil penetration. And then after that, while we spring tooth it, you know, as the need arises, whether we put on the sweeps on the spring tooth or just the regular points for it.
Okay, so you're trying to maintain some residue then to keep it from blowing and washing?
That's what I do. Sure, I have to do that on most of my ground.
Okay, because it's sandy or wants to blow?
Yeah, most of it is sandy, all back up in there.
Okay. What about, I noticed we saw some feed and milo up here.
Yeah, I try to alternate my ground. About every 2 or 3 years, I'll either change it from milo to wheat or wheat to milo and feed, you know, to change it around to get rid of the undesirable plants that appear.
Undesirable like cheat and weeds?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a really good idea and a good plan. So we'll move from here up and look at your terraces up there on the hill.
Well, that'll be central.
Okay, now we're up here a mile north of Sharon, up here on a tall hill that was washing away before Vincent got a hold of this, and been doing some innovative work up here. We've got terraces up here with pipe outlets. How do you like the pipe outlet terrace job?
Well, I sure like them. I sure do. I don't have that waterway to bother with, and the big wide terraces and the whole border. I just like to farm it like that.
Okay, what kind of problems have you run into with this pipe outlet? Have you had any of them plug up or anything?
Really, I haven't. I sure haven't had any of them to go bad with me at all. Now, I haven't got too close with my implement around these risers, but it's probably better that way than if I'd have tore them down.
Right. Yeah, then you have to replace them once you tear them out.
Yeah.
So this has worked real well. Now, you've got how many terraces here?
Oh, gee, I don't know, what is there, about 7 of them? I think there's about 7 terraces up this way.
Yeah, I think there's 5 on this side of the hill that drain down there.
Yeah.
And then that patch of weeds down there where the pipe outlets before it runs off to the trees down there.
Yeah.
And then runs off the field. So the terraces have worked real well for you then.
They sure have. They sure have. It seems like it sure helped this farm like everything.
Now, can you tell the difference in the crop?
Well, I sure can. I tell you what, in my operations all the way through since I started, I've always made it a practice to leave a piece of ground better when I left it than it was when I found it. That's been my really purpose in farming.
Okay, what would you sum up as far as how you like to farm and what do you think you accomplished in farming?
Well, one thing about it, I've enjoyed it all the time. No part of it's ever been a bore for me. I enjoy handling cattle. I used to have a registered Hereford operation that I handled all the way, but since the last few years, the Hereford has kind of went the other way. But I've enjoyed raising the wheat, and I think I've been successful at it. I sure feel like I have.
Well, when you're able to do something you like to do and it works for you, that sounds like success to me.
I think so. I've had 5 children, and I gave them all a 4-year college education of their own choice along the way.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty well in itself. And I've increased my acreage when I started from 156 acres to 830 some acres. And I don't owe a dollar on any of them.
Well, there's a lot of people who wish I could say that.
Yeah.
We haven't talked too much about your kids. You might tell us, the names of your kids and where they're at right now,
well,
what they're doing.
My oldest girl, Elaine, is up at Norton. She works for the Social Rehabilitation Services and has 3 children. And my boy, Vincent, is up at Smith Center. He's a veterinary, and he seems to have a successful operation up there. Of course, Brian is home, and he helps me, and of course I help him. And Joan, my other daughter, is down in Memphis, Tennessee teaching. And Sean is a paramedic up at Hutchinson. And they seem like they're all happy in their work, and I'm happy for them. And, I feel good about the whole situation.
Well, that's the way people ought to feel, and we're just glad that you feel that way, and glad that you are interested in conservation and improving the land. That's our whole motto and the reason for this award. So we thank you for your time that you spent with us here this afternoon.
Well, you're welcome, Harold. I sure like the way this field looks from the way it was.